My good buddy Daniel Larker picked up this book, so he called me up and he said, "Hey, would you like to come over to the butcher shop and collaborate on a Saucisson au Camembert?" And it just so happened that I had about a kilo of Camembert that was ready to go, getting a little long in the tooth. So I headed over there and we ground up 10 kilos of his heritage pork and got to work making this sausage.
So we got our spices, got our cure, using the Eco Cure, which is wildly expensive.
Right.
But yeah. But what are your thoughts on, I've got my regular cures here, and my old one had red 40 in it. This one has red 3 in it.
Red 3?
Yeah. What's the bad one, or are they both equally probably the same?
Boy, I couldn't even tell you.
Huh?
I mean, I know the red 40's bad.
Oh, really?
Without getting too deep in the weeds on the subject of cures, what we're talking about here, the Eco Cure that we're using in this recipe, has the sodium nitrate derived from celery juice powder or kale juice powder or some plant-based source for the nitrates. And the commercially available Instacure number 1 and Instacure number 2 have a dye in them to distinguish them from table salt in the kitchen to avoid trying to use them as salt in a stew or something like that, where you would have a toxic load of sodium nitrate. And so Instacure number 1 is sodium nitrate. Instacure number 2 is sodium nitrate with sodium nitrite, which over time breaks down into sodium nitrate as the meat cures. When you see uncured bacon, for example, in the grocery store, it's not uncured. It's cured with sodium nitrate. It's just the source of that is a plant-based source. And so it's mostly a marketing consideration. And to me, I use sodium nitrate as Instacure number 1 in most of my recipes because I know it's a known quantity and chemically it is identical to this Eco Cure. But as far as people's demands in the market, a lot of people like that Eco Cure probably because it has eco in the name. And really the other benefit, of course, being that it does not have the artificial dye in it. So in that sense, it is superior, but either one works.
All right. So we'll give that a little mixy mix to get that cure on everything. Then put this in, and then we'll get stuffing.
All right, I'm going in with spices.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, look at that. That is the cheesiest.
Wow.
Super cheesy.
The other variety that I'm gonna make today of Saucisson is, I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, Alsace.
That is correct.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Look at me. And that one gets a cold smoke on it. So I figure with like the flavor of the cheese and everything, the smoke might actually like take away from that.
It'd be real easy to step on it.
Yeah. So like the last version I made, more like a Swiss Neuchâtel, is that the pronunciation right? It's salt, pepper, and garlic. No culture.
Right.
All the fermentation is probably just happening there in the cellar.
Right.
and that was like a small casing, so it's a quick age too, and it's just the flavors were so like delicate, right?
Yeah.
And like the flavor of the pork is doing all the work.
Yeah. Well, when you got good pork.
Yeah, it's got like a sweetness to it. But, and that was a really popular, really good, and fully edible, which is nice.
Yeah.
With the hog casing on a smaller diameter.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know, it's easy to sell,
Yeah.
but these large diameters are fun too, you know, and like making it really the way they do it, even with the diameter, you know. It's like
Yeah.
a different ring gauge on a cigar. You get a different experience.
So this cheese has got active cultures going on. The Penicillium candidum is the white rind on the outside, and then it's got a mesophilic culture as well. And should be quite an amazing result from adding this cheese to this meat. And of course, you got to do a little test batch before you stuff it. Down Home Farm is a heritage pork operation, and Daniel has done a lot of great work with hybridizing various pastured and orchard heritage pig breeds to produce excellent pork.
Beef middle.
Beef middle.
What diameter?
60 mil.
60 mil beef middle.
10 kilos.
10 kilos. So
Switching-
22 pounds.
Just switching units back and forth because we do what we want.
That's right. We'll use those freedom units if we want to. Keep your millimeters.
So I'm kind of surprised. This is a pretty dry sausage,
Right.
and it really only has the liquid from the culture.
Right.
And
Another half cup of water.
yeah, that's it. So I'm sure it's gonna struggle with this machine a little bit,
Yeah.
but these large diameters, at least it can eventually figure a way to push it all through.
Right. Right. All right. So this one we're going. You're gonna prick it, yeah, and then 3 days room temperature,
Yep,
and then into the cellar.
into the cellar. So I'm going to ferment these just in restaurant pans,
Uh huh.
covered with saran wrap,
All
and
right.
then with a lid on there.
Okay.
Bring them into the house, just heated with wood, of course.
Right.
And so just try to keep the temp above 60 for those 3 days.
Right.
And yep, then into the cellar. And I don't know, probably 2 months, I guess, on these.
Is there a percentage you're looking for loss?
30%.
30% weight loss.
By hybridizing Old Spot, Large Black, and Hereford pig breeds, Daniel has created an amazing stable of sows and boars that produce exceptional quality pork. It's really unlike anything that you can find in the commercial market, and we always get a couple of feeders from him in the spring and feed them out for our own homestead use. These girls are cooking up the batch of spring piglets. Each of these sows can have up to 12 piglets, typically about 6 or 8. And so lots of little babies coming around in the springtime. Here you can see the Penicillium candidum running on these sausages after being in the cellar for about 2 months.
Heck yeah.
I'll just cut this whole thing. Hopefully we'll find some bits in it. I'm just going to serve this today anyway. Oh, there's some. It's super rich, huh?
You can smell
Oh, yeah.
the camembert, you know.
Oh, the whole cellar. There was like, depending on where you were standing in the cellar, it would either be like the hint of a kiss of smoke.
Right.
Or if you're standing close to this, it's just like that cheesy, like you said on your post, the candidum did make a run for it.
Right.
But I think the temperature was right around 40 degrees the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think if it had gotten up closer to 60 or something, let's say,
Right.
then I think that bloom would have been way more.
Yeah, that thing is phenomenal.
But it's like we should put out this cowboy candy. Like the spicy actually plays really well against that richness.
Right. Right.
Lauren, will you grab those?
Yeah. Do you want a little bread too?
This is another Camembert that I pulled out of the cellar for this tasting. In addition to the Saucisson Camembert, we've got some Capicolo from my cellar and a couple other salami varieties that Daniel pulled out.
Was like the basic finocchione.
Mm-hmm.
But then it also said in some recipes you'll find this blend, and it's like an herbal and spice blend
Right.
with exotic but kind of traditional flavors. But a lot more going on. You know, it's got your coriander, it's got your mace, it's got your nutmeg.
To be able to produce this kind of quality product is an amazing accomplishment in our community, and just really glad to have all these good flavors of this food we know is absolutely clean and raised in the best possible way.